Justis Huni, a Australian prospect, defeats Joseph Goodall, another Australian prospect, via unanimous decision. This is the first time I've ever watched Justis Huni live, and I was very excited to see. I've seen lots of highlights for him. I know he beat Paul Gallen, a guy who beat Lucas Brown inside the round. So I was intrigued to see how Justis Huni fights. And especially in the first 3 rounds, I was pretty amazed at what I was watching. This guy, he has the skills of a middleweight, a light middleweight, as a heavyweight. And I'm like, it's just a matter of time before he gets Joseph Goodall out. In round 4, Joseph Goodall seemed like to have this, I'm going to give it my final push before going out. I had him win round 4. He landed a couple good right hands. But then after that, the fight became very sloppy. Justis Huni does not seem to have much power on his from his punches. He did land, I think, 210 punches by the time the fight was over. And it seemed like he couldn't hurt Goodall in the slightest. Goodall was buzzed. Goodall was not buzzed. He was tired. He was fatigued. And he had his eyes shut closed. And Huni couldn't get him out of there. Goodall, he's a guy that has heart. He's a big guy with heart, but wasn't anything special whatsoever. So you'd think that this is going to be a stoppage victory for Huni. It wasn't. It was a close fight throughout. I thought that Huni was clear victor, but most of those rounds were very close, very competitive, especially after round 3. The first 3 rounds were clear Huni rounds, but then the last 7 rounds, they were close rounds, hard-fought rounds. Huni didn't separate himself much from Goodall. And I think that they should pump the brakes, not throw him in with the big lines yet. I hear him they talking about, now he's a top 10 contender and all that stuff. He's not. He's only 23 years old, and he's not a big guy. He fights between mid-range and inside. Has a high guard. It says 6'4", but I wouldn't be shocked if he's a bit shorter. It does not say what his reach is, but just to keep it short, he's not a Vladimir Klitschko, Lennox Lewis type heavyweight. He's not that guy. He's not the guy with a big jab and keeps you long on. He's a guy that likes to break you down, stand right in front of you between the mid-range and inside and fight you. But he gets hit way too much. I got the punch test right from him. He landed 198 punches, but he got hit 154 times. So, look, Goodall, he's not that type of fighter. What if you're fighting a Deontay Wilder? You want to be getting hit 154 times? What if you're fighting a Martin Bakole? What if you're fighting even a Kubrat Pulov? He'd control distance like that very easily. If you can't fight a bit on the outside, or if you don't move your head whatsoever. And that was a big, big, big red flag for me. He does not move his head whatsoever, even though he's trying to fight on the inside. Okay, you want to fight on the inside, you got to move your head. You got to move your head, at least move from the waist, move your body from the waist, pivot in and out. None of that stuff. Just had his guard up, would jump back, jump to the side. No upper body movement whatsoever. No head movement whatsoever. And that is a red flag in my opinion. I don't think he's a guy that will ever capture heavyweight gold, ever. Unless he picks up some vacant title like Joseph Parker did. But I don't think he would unseat any of the top guys right now. Could he beat Joseph Parker? I think he could, because Joseph Parker is a very, 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 very passive guy. He'd happily lose a fight. In Australia, a domestic fight in Australia, I'd be very intrigued to see Justis Huni versus Dempsey McKean. I'd be very, very interested in that one. I am a bit high on Dempsey McKean. He seems like a guy who could box. Doesn't seem like a guy who has much power, but Justis Huni doesn't have much power either, so it'd be a boxing match. They could schedule it for 12 rounds. Huni seems to have a good motor, real good stamina. That's a plus. But he lacks head movement, he lacks upper body movement, and he lacks power. In the heavyweight division, especially for a guy who's not that big, I don't know. So that's my thoughts about him. Give me your thoughts in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, enjoy the video. Sadiq Boxing out.